What up, baby? Here with another Canon highlight video, I guess you could call it. We will be doing what I have named the Inferno variance, and it's called that because I found a weird anomaly with the direction. And if it's firing north and presumably south, it doesn't work as well as if it's firing west and I would assume east. Which was the problem with the Elephant Cannon. The Elephant Cannon only fires in the way that I like it to when it's going south or north, whereas if it's facing east or west, it does a horizontal spread instead of a vertical spread. So I got to the bottom of that mystery. Well, I solved it enough as to where I'm good with it. So yeah, if you have built an elephant gun and it does not fire in the way it should, it's because it's not facing south or north. So this is named the Inferno variance. Inferno just for the badassery of it, and variance because of just all the different shots that can be done with this. So you can see there are spaces for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots can be loaded into this thing. And there's a reason I have 2 of these on here, and I'll get into that later. But you only need 1 technically to fire it, but having 2 allows you to do some different things, and it makes it a bit more reliable. And like I said, I'll show you that later. So when it's fully charged and loaded state, give it about a 4 flash, and you can ensure that all of them fall down and are ready to fire. Fairly straight, nice spread, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was very quick, and there's, it's a staggered explosion. So you've got 1 here. When you pull the lever, this one activates immediately. These next 2 activate, I believe, 1 or 2 ticks later. Then 1 or 2 ticks after those 2, 1 or 2 ticks after those last ones. Instead of having 1 large explosion and all the entities from that explosion, you, for the most part, get rid of, all the entities from the first 3, leaving you with mainly just the ones from the last one. So that's pretty handy. But where the variance really comes into play is with the charges. You load them up like such, and you can do any combination of these to get some different shots. The first one being just the side 2, and that gives you, just as you'd imagine, a shorter shot. You would expect this shot to go in that direction, and for the most part it does, but it fires a bit better to the right than it does to the left. And that's because this shot has a tendency to jump in this direction, which fires it more central. And I don't know why, but something I discovered to kind of help alleviate that is doing this. Which, with the cannon only having 1, arm of torches, it would activate that and you would waste the TNT. So, by doing this, you do eat up a source block, so you always need to use this middle source right here to keep a full bucket of water. And then once you do that and fire it, or fill that, grab from here, and then you've always got a water source via that central block. It's a bit clunky to get used to at first, but once you get used to it and know all the ins and outs of firing this thing, you can do some nice things. So where the erratic nature of this cannon comes in is right here, because to do a right shot, you put one in the left slot. However, when this one jumps, it'll either be to the left or the right, which can create a problem. To fire a left shot, you need to put one in the right slot, and the same problem still exists. To alleviate that, you would load a right firing shot by doing this. And the way you prevent this one from being detonated is by using the opposing arm. So if we're doing a right shot, we would shoot it like such. Then we remove that, gather our TNT, and that allows us to preserve our TNT and keep this cannon going. So, I'll demonstrate a right shot now, which are, in my experience, more reliable. But without the safeguard, we might see this TNT jump in a direction that would be counterproductive. And there it goes. So if it hadn't jumped in that direction, it might have landed there, as opposed to here. However, sometimes that may be what you want. That's where this cannon gets a bit erratic. Getting it to do what you want is difficult, but the fact that it's unpredictable extends its usefulness, because it's not always shooting in the same exact spot every time. So, a left shot. This one didn't have any variance, it stayed exactly where it was, and there's always that one TNT that doesn't obey. So, by placing a block there, our right shot will be unable to pull further into the center, because if this jumps as far as possible to the right, it won't fire as far to the right. And it would just be a central shot with less distance than a fully charged one. So, activate this, activate that, and the TNT is almost always either staying in place or jumping into an area where we'll get a more powerful directional shot. So I'm going to go ahead and run through the different directional shots. A safeguarded right. Safeguarded left. And whether this is facing east or west, it always seems to be a bit weaker to the left. So plan your cannon location accordingly. For the greatest distance, you load up all 3 slots and fire. And that variance on a fully loaded shot happened because of the wily nature of that charge right there. So that's essentially it. You've got that staggered shot to increase your entity destruction abilities. You've got the varying charge patterns for altering your shot location, and something to take note of is that we are using a fence post firing block. I'm quite sure the other 2 traditional firing blocks being slabs and ladders, I don't think they work as well. I haven't really tested them because there's no reason not to use fence post for such a cannon. So that is it, the Inferno Variance cannon. Go ahead and feel free to build one on your own. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to help you out. Go ahead and just leave those in the comments. And yeah, look forward to the next cannon video. I think this is a series now. Alright, peace baby!